mother-in-law, being that the young girl was staying in the same apartment building. And God blessed me, as he always does with Pam. Pam will never know what a blessing she has been to me. She was newly married, and she wanted children too, but Pam agreed, really, to take care of Tiffany for me. Sometimes I got jealous of her because baby loved her so much, then I thought she was the mother instead of me. But that was good because I knew she was being taken care of with love. Her whole family loved her. Wilma spoiled her. And that's just the way they are. But I wanted to do this the right way. I didn't want that mother to come back and take that child away from us. That's my child now. You say, how can you love somebody that fast? I didn't bear her, but that was my promised child. God gave her to me.
Yes.
I know he did.
Yes.
That child was going to fill up all those empty spots that you have in your heart and your life and give you joy. So I think I contacted an attorney first. They said the best way to do is to go through an adoption agency. And I thought, okay, I'll try this again, because I did try to go through an adoption agency before, and because we weren't Jewish or we weren't Catholic, we couldn't get on a list, or we didn't have enough income. We didn't meet the criteria that you're supposed to have. And then adoption lists were so long at that time because people were having abortions then. I'm so thankful to her mother. Every Mother's Day I think about this young mother that gave me the child, and I thank God for mothers that have children, that they don't abort them.
Yes. Amen. Amen.
I'm thankful that she loved that child enough that she gave her to me. But anyway, I finally found a Christian organization, an adoption agency in Southfield. And what they wanted me to do was give them the baby and go on a list. I said, I'm not going to do that. If I have to keep this child illegally, I'll do that. But this is my God-given child.
Yes.
This is my child. And I want to do it the right way. I want to make sure that she's mine, not somebody else's. God gave her to me. So they did help us. Of course, there are always fees that you want to pay to them. And you have to be investigated for a year. You've got to be checked out, that you're financially able to take care of the child. Have a good babysitter. All those things you have to have. And that was a trying year, let me tell you. Because not only that, the mother could come back and claim that child.
Sure.
She had all that time
Sure.
to change her mind.
Yes. Ooh.
But that child was mine.
Yes.
I had to trust God.
Yes.
And it says in Psalms 123:3, children are a gift from the Lord. They are a reward from Him. Don't you know that I knew God was telling me that that was my reward?
Yes.
So God did give me that special child. And after a year, after 10 years of being married, this was my child. So finally it became legal and she was our child. I can't tell you how thankful I am for her. She's been a blessing to me. Even now, I'm amazed that this is my child.
Yes. Beautiful.
She gives me insight, she gives me encouragement, and she gives me love. God bless you.
Thank you.
But my story still doesn't end. I didn't know how much of this story I should keep on going and telling you. My husband, I could tell that he was beginning to change, and even at a young age, I asked Tiffany yesterday, I said to you, could you tell anything conflict with us? Because she was young. She was only 4 years old. We were married for 14 years, and my husband did it again. Well, he could have been doing it a lot, but he finally did. He was really cheating on me, not maybe with one woman, but maybe a few women, let's say. And we would bicker, and she said no, she just felt tension in the house when we were in the same room
Sure.
at that age,
Yeah.
because I would never do anything in front of her, talk evil or anything. I would try to be out of the house or doing things differently. And he had stopped going to church by this time.
Sure.
But let me back up. I forgot to say this. When I did get Tiffany, one of the first things that I did, I dedicated her to the Lord.
Yes. Yes. Amen.
That's an important thing to do.
It is very
At that time, my husband was living like he should have been, kind of. But we dedicated her to the Lord. And I'm sure that through that dedication, God has kept her, because we promised to do right. I
Yes.
promised to take her to church. I
Yes.
promised to live right in her sight. I promised to teach her good.
Yes.
I promised to pray over her.
Yes.
So I remember Brother Ross was the one that did that for us at the time. It was hard to figure out what to let Tiffany wear that day, because when the church had given me a shower, I'm not exaggerating, I bet I had over 100 dresses. And I thought, this child will never ever wear all these dresses, you know? One time, and that would be it. My church family was extraordinary. They was behind me all the way.
Yes.
And that was a surprise shower that they gave me, so it was like, wow,
Oh.
thankful for all that stuff. But back to my husband. He started running around again and cheating and not coming home. I couldn't understand why a married man wasn't coming home at nighttime. Why he was being taking extra showers. Duh. These things he wasn't doing for me. So one weekend I decided I would take off and not tell him or anybody where I was going. So I took Tiffany to SeaWorld. I thought, all right, let's go and do something fun. I took her to SeaWorld, and of course that worried him because I wasn't home. And he was trying to call all over the place, trying to find out where I was at, what was going on. I finally called him on the phone and talked to him and told him that I couldn't live like this, cheating, being humiliated. It's like, if you want a divorce, just ask for it. Don't belittle me. Don't bring home to me all these diseases that could be happening. But yet at the same time, I couldn't ask for the divorce. When I came home, he had left. He decided he was going to start the divorce procedures. I thank God. You have no idea
Yes.
how I thank God
Yes.
that it was from him that it was happening.
That's right. Amen.
Because regardless, I still didn't want to do it.
That's right.
I just did not want to do it. He did start the procedure, and we went through the divorce. It's amazing. You think you know people, but they can get ugly when you go through the divorce.
Yes.
He did things that I thought he wasn't capable of doing, but that was okay. I was determined that if I couldn't keep my house, my home, I'd work scrubbing floors. I didn't care. I was going to make it one way or the other,
That's right.
and I was going to keep my child. So I did get the home. I got a lot of bills because my husband liked to have a lot of nice things. He always wanted to be a little bit better than someone else. And I hated that. I didn't think that that's the way we should be. We should be grateful for what we get.
Yeah.
As long as we work for it, so be it. But the more he got, the more he wanted. Well, we divided up a lot of the bills, and I got a lot more than my income was. Let me tell you that. but God still works.
Yes, God's faithful.
I started working as a mail girl at an insurance company. I was faithful at that. I wouldn't miss work no matter what. And the president of the company saw that I was steadfast in doing what I did. I eventually got promoted to the agency where I became the bookkeeper, and I would sell insurance at the same time. And needless to say, I even escalated to be the president's secretary by the time I had not quit working, got laid off, but I got to work for the president of the company, which was a very strict man that makes me think of Napoleon. He was little in stature, but he wanted great power. And it's not easy to work for, because come Monday morning I would be sick to my stomach, because whatever mood he was in, that's what happened across the whole company. Everybody was like that. But you know what? That job, I worked there for 41 years.
Yes, you do.
God provided me health insurance and income to send my child to school.
Yes.
I had clothes and food and a home. So he gave me all I needed.
Yeah.
Not what I wanted always, but what I needed. When I was, let's go back, got a divorce and I was living on my own. And my mother, she lived in Detroit, and she lived in a bad part of Detroit, and it was getting scary for her because she had gotten robbed like 3 times. And the last time that she got robbed, she did not even know that the people were in the house still yet when she went in. And that's God's amazing protection,
Yes.
protecting her. So she decided, or we decided, she would move in with me temporarily. That way, I didn't want her to, but she did. She would pay rent. So that helped me.
Sure.
That helped me with food, because she worked at Focus on the Family in Detroit on butternut. Thank goodness for cheese. Thank goodness for,
Yes.
I mean, Tiffany loved that macaroni and cheese that my mom fixed every day. Thank goodness for milk that came in, you know,
Yes.
whatever was left over, she
Yes.
brought home. Thank goodness for clothes.
Yes.
Man, I got a lot of nice clothes from that place, let me tell you, St. Paul's. I am thankful that I never went without clothes, and we never was hungry, never. And I was able to pay my bills and pay my tithes, and I got things paid off. When Tiffany was 8 years old in 1984, I got sick. Well, it was in 1983, and I was still in my 30s. And I went to the doctor, had my routine, and I ended up them coming back and telling me that I had cancer. And I was so tired. I can't tell you guys how tired I was. I worked up till the very end. And I would talk to Tiffany, and my concern was leaving that child. I didn't want to leave my baby that God gave to me. She was 8 years old. That meant that her father would get her, and I thought, he's not going to take her to church. He's not going to raise her up the right way. I knew I had my mother and I could depend on her, but legally that child would have went to him, you know. I trusted God. I trusted God. In that, I remember the last days just hanging on and saying, God, I don't have strength. Please just get me through this day so I can go to work and get home and get this operation and be done with this. I couldn't hardly lift my arms up. I was so tired, but I did get through with it. And God, I had my hysterectomy in August of 1983. And what they were concerned about, because I remember he said that they had a conference with a lot of doctors. They just didn't know how to treat somebody that was so young yet with hysterectomy, where the cancer, how far it had gone. until they really went in there, you know, to see. So when I had the total history